Okay, guys, welcome to our last week of class of this second partial, the review week. So today we're going to place the topic for the first time at the beginning. We're going to call it review day 1, and we're going to place the date, which is December 6th, 2021. What are we going to review today? We're going to review inequalities. So remember, we have 3 specific rules. Okay, we have 3 specific rules for inequalities. Which ones are they? Well, inequality, rule number 1 would be that variables should always, okay, always be on the left side. Remember with equations, we didn't mind where it was, but in this case, they always need to be on the left side. Okay, that's the very first rule. Okay. Rule number 2, constants then should always, again, always be where? On the right side. And the most important rule that most of you forget, okay, is the third one. And it says that if a negative number passes multiplying or divided from the left to the right side, okay, we flip, okay, the inequality sign. Okay, that's what we need to do. We flip the inequality sign. Yes, Daisy, that's okay. Now, another thing that you need to remember is the inequality signs themselves. You need to remember that this is like greater than, this other one is less than, this is greater than or equal. It has a little line underneath it that says that it's or equal, and less than or equal. You also need to remember that one of them is open, okay? So you're going to graph it with an open circle, and the other one is closed. So you're going to graph it with a closed circle, okay? Second thing that you need to remember is that the greater than or equal goes to the right when you shade it, and the less than or equal go to the left once that you shade them, okay? From where are you going to take that reference? From your number line. Remember that the most important part is that you're going to do it with a ruler and that you need to place the arrowheads, because by comparing the arrowheads to your inequality sign is how you're going to know to which side it goes without memorizing this, okay? This is the very first part that you need to remember that we are going to be solving. Today we're going to solve 3 exercises because that's all that we have able to do or possible to do. The first exercise that we are going to solve is 4 minus 3 parentheses 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 15. I made this exercise up, so the answer might be a fraction, okay? So the first thing that you need to do whenever you have an exercise that has a parenthesis is to solve the distributive property, okay? So you need to do this from the beginning, okay? That's the very first thing that you need to do. You cannot go ahead and say 4 minus 3 is 1, and then you say that 1 times 2x plus 1, and then you do the distributive property. No, that would be incorrect. You cannot subtract that before. Why? Because of PEMDAS. PEMDAS says that you need to do first the multiplications and then the additions and the subtractions. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to do first the distributive property. So therefore, we're doing nothing, so we just go ahead and copy it. Now we go ahead and multiply. -3 times 2x. How much is that?
-6.
-6.
X.
What? X. -3 times +1.
-3.
Let's make this one a negative, okay? -4. Let's make it a -4. Yes, -3 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 15. Now you have two options. You can either simplify, if possible, either side. You need to check if you can simplify, or you can go ahead and do the rules. In this case, I will go ahead and simplify before, because I have -4 and -3. So I'm going to simplify that. -4 minus 3, how much is that? How much is -4 minus 3?
-7.
-7. Why -7? Because same signs, you add and you keep the sign. -6x greater than or equal to 2x plus 15. Okay, so now I'm going to move this a little bit down. A little bit down. And I'm going to do the 3 rules, okay? Variables go on the left, therefore this one should go to this side with an inverse operation, and the -7 should go to the right also with an inverse operation. So plus 7. Since I don't have no more space in there, I'm going to move here, okay? So I'm going to have -6x minus 2x is greater than or equal to 15 plus 7. -6x minus 2x.
-8x.
-8x, very good. Greater than or equal 15 plus 7.
22.
22. I told you that I might not get a proper answer, okay? Like a fraction or something. Now, we need to pass this -8 because we need to leave the variable alone to the other side. Okay, so how does it go? How does that -8 go?
Dividing.
Dividing. But what else should I do?
Flip.
Flip the sign, because according to the third rule, if a negative number goes dividing, okay, we flip the sign or we reverse the sign. So we're going to flip or reverse that sign. We're going to have now that x is no longer greater than, it's going to be less than or equal to 22 over -8. Can I simplify that? Can I simplify that?
Yes, miss.
Yes, I can simplify that. Yes, Olvan, I already admitted them. So I'm going to simplify. By what number should I simplify?
Two.
By 2, yes, by 2. Okay, so I'm going to say that x is less than or equal to 22 minus 2. Divided by 2, sorry. 22 divided by 2.
11.
11.
11. -8 divided by 2.
-4.
-4.
And remember, Miss Lillian does not like decimals when you are not given decimals in the exercise, so you should not pass that to a decimal. So you're going to draw your line with the ruler. It is specifically with the ruler that you need to work, okay? And you're going to draw your arrowheads. It's important for you to draw the arrowheads. You pick wherever you want the number to be. So I want it to be there. Now remember, you can place the negative with the 4 as it is, or with the 11, or you can place it in the middle between the 11 and the 4. And the negative, it will be there. It doesn't matter. It's the same number. So is this open or is this closed?
Closed.
Closed. So I'm going to paint it with a closed circle. Does it go to the right or does it go to the left?
To the left.
The left. So I'm going to dash or shade to the left. You can do it this way. Remember, you have to have colors, or you can do it this way. As long as you demonstrate that it is on top of the line, that you are shaded, that's it. That's your final answer. Questions about this exercise? No questions. Okay, let's go with the second exercise. 3w plus 7 over 5 is less than 2w. Okay, this exercise is a little bit different. Why? Because we have a fraction that has a variable expression as a numerator. 3w plus 7 is the whole numerator. So whenever you have a fraction that way, where you have a variable expression either in the numerator or the denominator, the first thing that you need to do is get rid of the denominator. We need to get rid of that fraction. So how do we get rid of that fraction? By passing the denominator to the other side, doing what? Doing what?
Multiplying.
Fine, because denominators are divisions. Therefore, we need to go multiply. So we're going to have now 3w plus 7 is less than 2w times 5, because multiplication we do it in between parentheses. Now, just like I told you, the first thing that you need to do is multiply parentheses. So we're going to multiply this parenthesis and we're getting 3w plus 7 is less than 2w times 5.
10w.
10w, very good. Now that we have everything simplified, we can go ahead and use our rules, okay? So step 1, variables to the left. Step 2, constants to the right. So I'm going to do both at the same time. So this 10w needs to go to the left with an inverse operation, and this 7 needs to go to the right with an inverse operation. What's the inverse operation of the 10w?
Subtract.
That's subtraction. And of the 7? I have the 7.
Subtract.
Subtraction as well. So I'm subtracting in both cases. So I'm going to say 3w minus 10w is less than negative 7. 3w minus 10w.
Negative 7w.
Negative 7w. Why? Because it's different signs. You subtract and you keep the sign of the greatest number. It's less than negative 7. Now we need to leave the variable completely alone. Therefore, this 7 goes to the other side.
Positive.
Positive? Are you sure it goes positive?
Dividing. And we flip.
Dividing, and we flip the sign. How do we know? Because there's no sign in between the variable and the number. Okay, so that's why it goes dividing, because you're multiplying. There's no sign in between the variable and the number. So it is a multiplication, therefore it goes dividing. So it will no longer be less than, it will now be greater than. So we're going to have w is greater than negative 7 divided by negative 7. How much is negative 7 divided by negative 7?
Negative 1.
Are you sure it's negative 1?
Positive 1.
Positive 1. Because negative times negative, positive. 7 over 7, 1. So now we go ahead and graph. Okay, remember arrowheads. It doesn't matter where you pick the number to be. So I'm going to place it over here. Is it open or is it closed?
Open.
Open. To the right or to the left?
To the right.
Right.
To the right, because it is a greater than. So you go ahead and shade the line to the right side of the circle that you just graphed. And that is our second exercise. Questions? No? Okay. Now, last exercise, you're going to try to do it by yourself at the beginning. So it is 2x minus 5 over 3x plus 1 is less than or equal to 4. That is your first exercise that you're going to be trying to solve by yourself right now. So remember everything that we just did. Okay, same thing applies to what we just did. Same rules. So you can begin. I'll be giving you some minutes, guys, so come on. Okay, are you working? Okay.
Finish.
Okay. What is the first step that you did to solve this?
Multiplying. 3x,
Multiply what?
3x plus 1 to 4.
Okay, so you pass this, the denominator to the other side, multiply. Very good. That's a
Yeah.
very good step. So we have left 2x minus 5 less than or equal to 4 times 3x plus 1. And then what should I do?
Multiply 4 to 3x and to 1.
The distributive property to multiply. So we're going to have 2x minus 5 is less than or equal, and we multiply 4 times 3x.
4 times 3x is 8, 12.
12.
And for the x
Well,
and
the x, 12x,
Well-
don't forget the x. And then 4 times 1,
plus 4.
so plus 4. Very good. Someone else that finished already as well?
Finish.
Okay, what should I do now, Genesis?
Pass the 12x to the left and the -5 to the right.
Correct, because we're following those three specific rules where variables need to go on the left and constants need to go to the right. With what operation does the 12x go? How does it go?
It goes negative,
And the 5, how does it go?
positive.
Exactly, positive. So now we have 2x minus 12x is less than or equal to 4 plus 5. 2x minus 12x,
Negative 10x.
negative 10x. Less than or equal, and 4 plus 5,
9.
9. What should I do now, Daniel?
Divide, move that 10x to the other side, dividing. And flip.
And flip the sign because of the third rule. So no longer be less than or equal, it's going to be greater than or equal. And we are going to have then that x is greater than or equal to 9 over negative 10. Can I simplify that? No, right? I cannot simplify that. So I just go ahead and draw my graph. Remember to use a ruler and to use colors, okay? You need to use colors in order to graph it. Now I told you that you can pick wherever you want and we can have the sign wherever we want, either with the numerator, with the denominator, or like that right in the middle. So is this open or is this closed?
Close.
Closed. Does it go to the right or does it go to the left?
To the right.
To the right because it is a greater than. So I go ahead and shade my number line to the right side. And that is my final answer. Questions about these exercises? No questions. Clear as water. Crystal clear. Okay then, this is the review for day 1.